Pursuitcore is an asym game on Roblox, and when you play it, one of the characters you can choose is Zrafter. Zrafter, real name Dwayne, is a Sentinel user that can be bought from the shop for 500 points. His gimmick revolves around mining and managing resources, which makes for a very unique moveset. His passive is Inventory. Zrafter possesses an inventory that can store up to 64 items spread across 5 different types: dirt, stone, iron, gold, and diamond. When your inventory is full, mining further will replace the oldest items. You can also tap the icons to remove items one at a time.
This is the centerpiece of Crafter's kit. You should always be using this to keep track of how many items you have. There's no real downside to maxing it out, since you can just keep mining anyway, so try to keep your inventory more towards the full side for most of the round.
His first ability is Tool. Zrafter uses whatever tool he's currently got equipped. There are 3 types of tools he can equip: his sword, his pickaxe, or a utility. Sword and pickaxe work as a pair. Whenever I say the word tools, I'm referring to both of them. You start the round with wood tools, then upgrade to stone tools, then iron tools, then either gold tools or diamond tools, with diamond being the quote-unquote best, while gold acts as more of a side grade. His first tool is Sword. Zrafter swings his sword and dashes in the direction he's facing, gaining 1.2 seconds of iframes. On hit, 10 items are added to his inventory. The type of sword he has will affect how far he dashes, whether the enemy is slowed or stunned on hit and how long for, and what type of items he gets. The wood sword has the shortest dash, slowing the enemy for 0.8 seconds and granting either dirt or stone. The stone sword has a longer dash than wood, slowing the enemy for 1.3 seconds and granting either dirt, stone, or iron. The iron sword has a longer dash than stone, stunning the enemy for 1.2 seconds and granting any item. The gold sword has a longer dash than iron, slowing the enemy for 1.6 seconds and granting any item except diamond. It also has a reduced cooldown of 18 seconds. The diamond sword has the longest dash, stunning the enemy for 1.6 seconds and granting any item. This ability has a cooldown of 23 seconds.
The way the dash works is, Crafter is locked to the direction he's facing in the instant you press the button, and then he dashes in that direction. So you want to make sure that you're actually facing the Terminator before you swing at them. The lunge itself can be used as mobility, but I would save that for swords with stronger lunges like gold or diamond.
The wood and stone swords are straight up trash. You want to get to iron as soon as you can before you can start fighting the Terminator. Then from there, always prioritize getting to diamonds, never upgrade to gold. Sure, the slowness debuff is a minus 10 speed reduction, but on Gold Sword it only lasts for 1.6 seconds. You barely even feel it if you get hit by it. The reduced cooldown is something, I guess, but it just doesn't compare to a sword that has a longer dash, mind you, and stuns for the same duration. Why would you ever pick Gold Sword when Diamond Sword is just better in every way? His second tool is Pickaxe. Zrafter begins mining continuously. In this state, he cannot run and cannot be forced out. Pickaxe goes on a brief 1 second cooldown whenever you switch to it, use it, or cancel it. Opening any menu while mining will automatically cancel it. The wood pickaxe has the slowest mining rate of roughly 2.4 items per second. You can use it to mine dirt and stone. The stone pickaxe has a mining rate of roughly 2.6 items per second. You can use it to mine dirt, stone, and iron. The iron pickaxe has a mining rate of roughly 2.7 items per second. You can use it to mine any item. The gold pickaxe has the fastest mining rate of roughly 3.2 items per second. You can use it to mine any item except diamonds. The diamond pickaxe has a mining rate of roughly 2.8 items per second. You can use it to mine any item. Just like with sword, wood and stone are trash and you want iron, but unlike with sword, I would say the gold pickaxe is actually better than the diamond pickaxe. Not just because of the faster mining rate, but also because outside of crafting diamond tools, diamonds themselves don't really have much use. Once you do craft diamond tools, if you happen to mine a couple diamonds, then it's like, well, great, but what am I supposed to do with these? They're dead weight to me. Unless a utility comes in future that requires diamonds to be crafted, I would say the best build for crafter is actually diamond sword with gold pickaxe, if only you were able to craft those separately. Mining is something you should always be doing, but especially at the start of the round, since that's when crafter's at his weakest. At that point, you should stay close to your teammates so that they can protect you, but not too close so that the enemy can't easily switch to you. Once you get iron tools, then you can join the fight. Beyond that though, I would say just mine whenever you don't absolutely have to run. For example, if you're just standing by the generator putting fuel in, or if there's a fuel can nearby that you can easily walk to and back from without wasting too much time. His third tool is Utility. Zrafter first enters a naming stance by holding his arm up. In this stance, the camera is shift locked and movement speed is slightly reduced. Pressing again places down the utility. You cannot be forced out of the stance, but you can cancel it for a 5 second cooldown. There are 3 types of utilities Zrafter can craft. All of them have the same cooldown of 29 seconds. His first utility is Dirt Wall. Zrafter places a small dirt wall that stays up for 5 seconds. He and his teammates can walk through it, but the enemy has to either jump over or walk around it. I'll be blunt, dirt wall is garbage. There's no situation where you'd want to have it because the enemy can just jump over it. But there's also no situation where you can viably use it either because, again, the enemy can just jump over it. There's literally 0 use cases for dirt wall. This utility just exists to pad out Crafter's kit. There's nothing useful I can say about it, so I'm just going to move on. His second utility is Stone Wall. Zrafter places a large stone wall that stays up for 5 seconds. He and his teammates can walk through it, but the enemy has to walk around it. They cannot jump over it. I would be saying the same thing for Stone Wall as I just did for Dirt Wall, if it weren't for the fact that there are certain narrow passageways on certain maps they can block off to stall for time.
But that's it. That's the only thing stone wall can do. I'll tell you, whilst I was grinding Crafter's MS4, I never crafted a single wall. Not a single one. Both of these utilities are in dire need of a buff, man.
His third utility is Minecart. Crafter places down a minecart that travels in a straight line. If it hits a wall or goes up an incline, it crashes and stops moving. If the minecart hits a Terminator, it will pick them up and carry them for as long as it doesn't crash. Once it does crash, it stuns them for 0.5 seconds.
This is the only utility that you really need because it is one of the best stuns in the game. You generally want to use this when the termite is right up in the grill, since that gives the best chance of hitting them. You also want to use this in wide open areas or places with long hallways, since that makes sure that the termite gets sent far away when you do hit it. However, Minecart suffers greatly from something called hitbox flickering, which, well, the footage explains itself. The flickering gets worse the more lag you have, to the point where the minecart can sometimes directly phase through the Terminator. It's straight up bullshit, for want of a better word, and I really hope the hitbox recode in the next update will fix this.
His second ability is Swap Tool. Crafter opens up a menu that, as the name suggests, allows him to swap between his tools. Pressing 1 swaps to sword, pressing 2 swaps to pickaxe, and pressing 3 swaps to utility if one is available. If none is available, then the menu is dismissed and nothing happens. Attempting to open the craft menu while the swap tool menu is open will instead put craft on a 1 second cooldown. This ability has a cooldown of 1 second.
This ability is kind of just there because it has to be. I mean, how else is Crafter going to swap between his tools? What I will say is, at the start of every round, Crafter always spawns with a sword equipped, but you want your pickaxe. So always, before you do anything else, open swap tool, select pickaxe, start mining. Doing this over and over again and getting it into muscle memory is a key skill to learn when playing Crafter. In fact, navigating Crafter's menus is almost a skill in its own right, since whenever you're doing that, you're giving the termite a window to hit you, so the less time you spend fumbling around with it, the better. Obviously this is easier for people who have keyboards or controllers, whereas us mobile players are just stuck with their fingers, but the more practice you get with this, the easier it becomes.
His third ability is Craft. Crafter opens up a menu that allows him to upgrade his tools or craft utilities. Whenever you craft anything with this menu, the entire ability goes on cooldown. Attempting to open the swap tool menu while the craft menu is open will put swap tool on a 1 second cooldown. This icon shows what level of tools you currently have. This icon shows what utility you have stored if you have one. Any icons that show up here mean you can afford to craft them. This sidebar allows you to quickly craft stuff, provided you have the necessary items. Pressing 1 crafts the highest level of tools that you can currently afford, pressing 2 crafts a dirt wall, pressing 3 crafts a stone wall, and pressing 4 crafts a minecart. Stone tools cost 5 stone, iron tools cost 5 iron, gold tools cost 5 gold, diamond tools cost 5 diamond, dirt wall costs 15 dirt, stone wall costs 10 stone, and minecart costs 2 gold and 5 iron. This ability has a cooldown of 13 seconds. It's another menu that you have to learn to navigate. If you want to play absolutely optimally, just use the sidebar, don't bother with the middle section. Whilst you can use that section to check crafting recipes, you should be memorizing those anyways. The main reason why I say that you shouldn't use it though, is because it requires 3 button presses to craft stuff. 1 to open the menu, 2 to select the option you want, 3 to craft. Whereas the sidebar just requires 2 button presses. 1 to open the menu, 2 to craft. Also, always prioritize upgrading tools over crafting utilities, since with upgrading tools you can get resources back by mining or hitting your sword swings.
Crafter's LMS buff allows him to run while mining, which is a simple but effective buff, since going back to what I said about always be mining whenever you can, and then you can do it in the middle of a chase while your stuns are on cooldown. This will be a proper test of your ability to navigate menus and press buttons though, so make sure you're solid with that before you attempt to mine right in front of the termite's face.
Crafter's stacking debuff is the same as Dante's. Stun durations are decreased by 0.1 seconds for every duplicate alive. This only affects the iron and diamond swords and not the minecart, and just like with Dante, it's barely noticeable, you can just ignore it.
This is what Zombie Crafter, or Zrafter, looks like. And now for the skins. Final thoughts on Crafter. So, okay, the Crafter's a bit of an odd one for me personally. Like, I get the idea behind his moveset, and I think it's a really creative and cool concept that in practice was executed pretty well, but for the most part, like when Crafter gameplay kind of just boils down to upgrading to Diamond Sword and throwing out minecarts, whatever. Wood and stone tools might as well not exist, and gold tools are supposed to be an alternate playstyle to diamond tools, but they just don't work out to be good enough to want to use them. Like, gold pickaxe is something, but that's only due to the fact that diamonds don't have any use other than crafting diamond tools. I hope a utility comes in the future that allows you to craft them using diamonds. But moving on from that, gold sword is in dire need of a buff. Not dire need per se, but it needs a buff to actually, want to use it in a place of where you could be using diamond sword, because diamond sword is actually good. A 1.6 second stun with a strong line, that's a pretty good move. Like, you can use the lunge to make great distance. The stun itself hits pretty hard, and you get a bunch of items from it that you would actually need. And on the side of utilities, what is the point of using? What is the point of dirt wall existing? What is the point of stone wall existing outside of just the few niche cases that make it that still don't really drive home its point of existence? Like, you don't ever want to craft dirt walls or stone walls. You only ever want to craft minecarts, because minecarts actually make a difference in game. Like, I mean, when they work, that is. The hitboxes in Pursuitcore are kind of bad in general, but Minecart in particular is really bad. And I really hope that gets fixed in the next update. But Minecart makes the biggest difference out of Crafter's entire kit, because when you get hit by that, you get sent super far away. Honestly, it arguably hits harder than Michaela's overcharged snipe. In certain cases where, because sometimes in Lost Mode, for example, sometimes you might get hit by a crafter and they'll send you all the way down the long hallways, all the way down to the other end. It's devastating to get hit by. But that's it. 75% of Crafter's moveset is dead weight, and the remaining 25%, while strong enough to put him in high A tier for me, it's just not good enough to put him into S tier. I just wish other parts of his moveset actually had some times where you'd want to use them. Like for example, Tac 9 is a good example of a Sentinel that has depth to their moveset, but at the same time, there aren't any parts of her moveset that you don't want to use at all. Like, each part of it plays a role, and they all play it really well. And I just wish Crafter had that same sort of depth and importance to all parts of his kit, but he just doesn't. You don't ever want to use dirt wall. You don't ever want to use stone wall, apart from a few niche cases, where even then it might not work out, because that takes a lot of skill. It's just so disappointing, really, and it just makes Crafter kind of boring to play, because the optimal playstyle just does the same thing over and over and over and over again. I really hope that gets addressed, and dirt wall and stone wall especially get buffed. But for the moment, he's just a disappointing. He's very much potential man at the moment.